opening of the shloka. Hare Krishna. We'll continue our conversation. I hope this is visible to all the devotees. So reading from 3rd Canto, 27th chapter, Qualities of the Material Nature, and text number 8 is for our discussion today. Yada chaya upa labandhena santustami tabukamuni vivikta sarana santa Maitra Karuna Atmavan Yadachrya Upalabandhena Santustamitabukamuni Vivikta Charanam Santa Maitra Karuna Atmana Apnavana Yadachrya Upalabandhena Santustamitabukamuni Vivikta Sarana Santa Maitra Karuna Atmavan. Word-to-word translation. Yadachraya, without difficulty. Upalabandhena, with what is obtained. Santusta, satisfied. Mita, little. Bhuk, eating. Muni, thoughtful. Vivakta Sarana, living in a secluded place. Santa, Shanta, peaceful. Maitra, friendly. Karuna, compassionate. Atmavana, self-possessed, self-realized. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. For his income, a devotee should be satisfied with what he earns without great difficulty. He should not eat more than what is necessary. He should live in a secluded place and always be thoughtful, peaceful, friendly, compassionate, and self-realized. Purport. Everyone who has accepted a material body must maintain necessities of the body. by acting or earning some livelihood. A devotee should only work for such income as is absolutely necessary. He should be satisfied always with such income and should not endeavor to earn more and more simply to accumulate the unnecessary. A person in the conditioned state who has no money is always found working very hard to earn some with the object of lording it over the material nature. Kapiladev instructs that we should not endeavor hard for things that may come automatically without extraneous labor. The exact word here in this connection is yadrachaya, which means that every living entity has a predestined happiness and distress in his present body. This is called law of karma. It is not possible that simply by endeavors to accumulate more and more money, a person will be able to do so. Otherwise, almost everyone would be able to do the same level of health. In reality, everyone is earning and acquiring according to his predestined karma. According to Bhagavatam conclusion, we are sometimes faced with this dangerous or miserable conditions without endeavoring for them. And similarly, we may have prosperous conditions without endeavoring for them. We are advised to let these things come as this time. We should engage our valuable time in prosecuting Krishna consciousness. In other words, one should be satisfied by his natural condition. If by predestination one is put into a certain condition of life which is not very prosperous in comparison to another's position, one should not be disturbed. He should simply try to utilize his valuable time in advancing in Krishna consciousness. Advancement in Krishna consciousness does not depend on any materially prosperous or distressed condition. I repeat this. Advancement in Krishna consciousness does not depend on any materially prosperous or distressed conditions. It is free from the conditions imposed by material life. A very poor man can execute Krishna consciousness as effectively as a very rich man. One should therefore be satisfied with his position as offered by the Lord. Another word here is mita bhuk, which means that one should eat only as much as necessary to maintain the body and soul together. One should not be gluttonous to satisfy the tongue. Grains, fruits, milk, and similar foods are allotted to human consumption. One should not be excessively eager to satisfy the tongue and eat that which is not meant for humanity. Particularly, a devotee should eat only prasada or food which is offered to the personality of Godhead. His position is to accept the remnants of those foodstuffs. Innocent foods like grains, vegetables, fruits, and flowers, and milk preparations are offered to the Lord, and therefore there is no scope of offering food which are in the mode of passion and ignorance. A devotee should not be greedy. It is also recommended that the devotee should be muni or thoughtful. He should always think of Krishna and how to render better service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That should be his only anxiety. As a materialist is always thoughtful about improving his material condition, a devotee's thoughts should always be engaged in improving his conditions in Krishna consciousness. Therefore, he should be a muni. The next item recommended in that a devotee should live in secluded place. Generally, a common man is interested in pounds, shillings, and pence, or materialistic advancements in life, which is unnecessary for a devotee. A devotee should select a place of residence where everyone is interested in devotional service. Generally, therefore, a devotee goes to the sacred place of pilgrimage where devotees live. It is recommended that he lives in the place where there is no large number of ordinary men. This is very important to live in a secluded place. Vivakta Sharana. The next item is Santa or Shanta or peacefulness. The devotee should not be agitated. He should be satisfied with his natural income, eat only as much as he needs to keep his health, live in a secluded place and always remain peaceful. Peace of mind is necessary for prosecuting Krishna consciousness. The next item is Maitra, friendliness. A devotee should be friendly to everyone, but his intimate friendship should be only with devotees. With others, he should be official. He may say, yes, sir, what you say is all right, but he is not intimate with them. A devotee should, however, have a compassion for persons who are innocent, who are neither atheistic nor very advanced in spiritual realization. A devotee should be compassionate towards them and instruct them as far as possible in making advancement in Krishna consciousness. A devotee should always remain Atmavan, or situated in his spiritual position. He should not forget that the main concern is to make advancement in spiritual consciousness or Krishna consciousness. And he should not ignorantly identify himself with the body or the mind. Atma means the body or the mind. But here the word Atmavan specially means that one should be self-possessed. One should always remain in the pure consciousness that he is a spirit soul and not the material body or mind. That will make him progress confidently in Krishna consciousness. Om Tat Sat. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport to Canto 3, Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 27 and text number 8. Amagyana-timirandasya Gyananjana-shalakaya Chakshurur-militam yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapatakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parjana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakamitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Well, the conversation here continues between Mother Devahuti and Kapila Muni or Kapil Dev. And the most important part of this conversation is that Kapila Muni is trying to give everything to his mother. And whatever he is giving, he very clearly says that this is not what I have gained or what I have not, started now. This is given way back to Vivaswan. And then this is coming in the Parampara. And as it comes in the Parampara, he does not make any modifications, especially for his mother. Kapila Dev is the incarnation himself. He's the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. So he does not make any changes in whatever Gnan or whatever knowledge that he gave it to, Vivaswan so many years back. And he still wants to continue giving the same knowledge. Just allow me 1 minute, please. Okay. This is a very instructive verse, and this is very specifically meant for the devotees. It gives the classification or it gives the details of how a devotee should really act or how he should behave. So the first point is very bewildering. You can acquire everything in the material world, but devotee should be satisfied. He has to understand that Maya is always around. And we always say, I can make $1 billion with my own endeavor. But Narad Muni is speaking here. Vyasadevatsa vaivahito prayatnaso kovido nalabhyate yat brahmatma upaya adam talalabhyate dukkavad anyata sukham kalena sarvatra gambhira ramahasya. Says, this is spoken by Narad Muni himself. He says, persons who are actually intelligent and philosophically inclined should endeavor only for that purposeful end. which is not obtained even by wandering from topmost planet, even from Brahmaloka. If you go to that lowest planet, to Patala, this is not achieved. So a devotee who's actually intelligent, it says a person who's actually intelligent, philosophically inclined, that means a devotee. Yeah. As far as happiness is derived from the sense enjoyment is concerned, it can be obtained automatically in the due course of time. Just as in the course of time when we obtain miseries, even though we do not desire. So the understanding here of Narad Muni and this clear instruction that he gives is saying that none of us desire miseries in our life, but we still get them. This is just a due course of time that we achieve. Likewise, happiness derived is also like that. It is obtained automatically. You don't have to specially endeavor from it. One time Srila Prabhupada was on a morning walk and was discussing about the predestiny. And disciples were, asking a lot of questions about certain articles which had appeared and all of that. And they would ask Srila Prabhupada, what is your understanding, Srila Prabhupada? Is destiny fixed? So Srila Prabhupada very emphatically made this point, saying that your destiny is fixed. It is come because of the previous karmas that we have done. And when you will complete your karmas, then accordingly it will also change. And this is, and this statement is very profound. He says the destiny is fixed. It comes because of our previous karma, our past life. A billionaire, we many times wonder, how is that, this man is so rich, he's a billionaire. He may be a son of a Kubera in the last time. But then please realize, is he going to take this money at the time of death? No, he's not going to take this Aishwarya or this money or whatever belongingness or whatever possessions that he has at the time of death. Only a Krishna consciousness can take you to the next life. Nothing else can take you to the next life. We talk about this to newcomers, saying that, whatever chanting that you accumulate or whatever, spiritual advancement that you accumulate stays there with you all through. You don't lose it when you leave this body and go to the next body. But the material attachments or the material belongingness that we have is lost immediately after the body is lost. Yeah, once you leave this body, whatever is your belongingness will be passed on to, whomever you have written your will for. If you have given that will to somebody outsider, then that outsider will get, not even your family will get, not your immediate biological family will get it. So it is very important that one understands that there is nothing that will be captured or will be carried with him at the time of death. Only Krishna consciousness or God consciousness or bhakti, you can take it to the next lifetime. If you go to Yamaraj and tell him, I have billions of dollars, can you influence him? You can't influence even Yamaraj. If you tell him that I'll give you so many dollars, can you please give an extension of my time? No, he doesn't. He says your destiny, this is your last time and you can't go beyond that. We're actually very, very fortunate to hear from Srila Prabhupada and take action and purify our hearts and enter the real happiness. This is the blessings that we have of the Acharyas and Srila Prabhupada, that because of them, today we are hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam. Because of them, we've got the nice scriptures with us. Because of them, we've got all this devotional paraphernalia, be it the deities, be it the devotees, be it the prasadam, be it the temple, be it the association of the wonderful Vaishnavas and disciples of Srila Prabhupada. All of that is because of the mercy of the Acharyas, and otherwise we would not have had this. So that is why a devotee should be very satisfied with the. So here, right in the beginning, let's go back to the verse here. It says, devotee should be satisfied. For his income, a devotee should be satisfied with what he earns without great difficulty. Yeah, that's the first thing. We should not over endeavor. We should not over, do things. Very clearly mentioned, saying that, if by hard work, if you were to get all the money, then everybody would have been at the same level, because nobody wants to be lower in life. Yeah, nobody wants to be at a little lower stature financially than the other person. But just because of hard work, if somebody could come up to that level, then everybody would be at the same level. You will not find a laborer who's working so hard, and there's a rich man who doesn't work at all. He's just comfortably enjoying everything. So-called enjoyment. This is not a real enjoyment. You see that, it seems that they are enjoying, but they're actually not enjoying. Yeah. So we are very fortunate that, we've got this association. So devotee should be satisfied by the income that he gets. The brahmacharis don't have this challenge at all. For grahastha, he needs to earn to make his body and soul together, to take care of his family, to take care of his responsibility that he has been endowed of, probably rearing up his children and taking care of his parents and his wife and all of that. And again, this is all predestined. There's absolutely no change. Whatever is there is all because of our previous karmas. And one has to focus only on Krishna consciousness. In the 7th canto, Narad Muni says to how the devotee should be satisfied. Let's, Narad Muni explains very, very elaborately in the 7th canto as to how we have to be satisfied in the material world. You will be in the whirlpool called Maya, and Maya will drag you down with it, and if you're not careful. Now, even a best of the swimmer can get stuck in the whirlpool and may lose their life. We have a very recent example of Her Grace Kiran Mataji. She's an expert swimmer, but then while she was on the banks of the river, the whirlpool just pulled her down. And finally, we know the destiny, what happened. Very unfortunate for us. So this shows very clearly this whirlpool called Maya, it will drag us down if we are not very careful. So one needs to be very, very careful in his spiritual life. Kapila speaking on this, and Srila Prabhupada says if everyone could endeavor, then it is possible for us to make it happen. And we have to only endeavor for Krishna consciousness, not endeavor for the material things of becoming rich. The second thing that is spoken by Srila Prabhupada is eat as much as it is required. Don't eat more. We should only eat so much. And that is why we request most of the time devotees not to serve extra prasadam in the plate, which is very important. We should understand that, we should only eat as much as to keep our body and soul together. We should not overeat. Scientifically also, we see that the more you eat, it doesn't mean that you get more energy. Actually, a lot of energy is consumed to digest this food when you overeat. So when you eat in required quantity, then it digests faster and you'll have more energy to do whatever you're doing, be it your business, be it your work, be it your seva in the temple. You'll be more energetic to execute your seva or execute your responsibility or professional responsibilities that you need to really do that. And it should be eaten only to keep the body and the mind, body and the soul together. Not just that because we like our senses to be gratified, we should start eating. I start eating rasagullas one after the other and eat 30, 40 rasagullas and sleep for the rest of the day. No, that's not what is recommended. Not only rasagulla, it can be anything. It can be even taking huge quantity of rice, which I'm not used to. Huge quantity of rice and dal, or taking huge quantity of pulao and pachadi, and then, go on eating, and the whole day I don't do anything. So one should take only as much as it is required to keep the body and the soul together and to keep the body in full strength. Not that you should not eat frugal. You should not eat frugal. You should eat. Also, it is said that devotees should take only Krishna prasad. And it is said, take prasadam, be happy, and go back home, back to Godhead. You should chant, take prasad, be happy, and go back home, back to Godhead. That's the simplest way that Srila Prabhupada gave it to us. In the Nectar of Instructions, the second shloka talks about it. Atyahara prayascha prajalpo niyamagraha janasangascha laulyam cha shabdir bhaktir vinashayanti. One's devotional service is spoiled when he becomes too entangled in the following 6 activities. Very nicely this has been enumerated here. If we see, these are 6 things which actually entangle a human being into the material world. The first one is eating more than necessary or collecting more than funds which is required. Second one is over-endeavoring for mundane things that are difficult to obtain. We over-endeavor. I want to build a mansion. I want to have a bigger car. You have a car. You're comfortable. Why do you? The requirement of a car is to take you from one place to another place. You're not going to stay all your life into the car. So why do you really over endeavor for having a luxurious car? Or why do you over endeavor to have a mansion which takes so much of endeavors of yours to build that mansion and to maintain it beyond? It's not easy to maintain. You can build it, but then maintenance becomes another problem. The third thing is talking unnecessarily about mundane subject matters. We have such nice subject matters like the Vedas, the Shastras, the Puranas, the Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita. We should talk about that rather than speaking about the mundane matters. The fourth one is practicing the scriptural rules and regulations only for the sake of following them and not for the sake of spiritual advancement. I wake up in the morning just because it is given in the Shastras. No, I wake up in the morning early because it is given in the Shastras and it helps me progress in my spiritual life. That is the reason that I practice. So just for the sake of rules and regulations, if one is practicing, then that is also not advisable. And rejecting rules and regulations of scriptures and working independently or whimsically. So one should also not work independently or whimsically just by their thought process. I feel this is all right, so I do it. No, you should do it as to what is given in the Shastras, what comes to us in the Parampara. The fifth one is associating with worldly minded persons who are not interested in Krishna consciousness, who are always thinking about either money or nari or advancement in material gain. No, we should not associate with such people. And the sixth one is being greedy for mundane achievement. These are all 6 things that devotees should really avoid. And the first and foremost realization that one should get is that we are not the bodies. The more we realize that we are not the bodies, the more we will control our tongue. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that this is the most difficult part of our body to control, the tongue. And if we take prasadam, we are already controlling it. And the next way is to refine it by eating only as much as it is required for us to keep our body and soul together. So there's another example that we can take. When you have a car and you want to fill the car with petrol, diesel, or gas, whatever, you can only fill as much as the capacity of the tank. If you go beyond that, it will spill out. What is the point of overeating? Just eat as much as your stomach can digest and help you progress in Krishna consciousness by keeping your body fit. Srila Prabhupada said, there should be a straight line between tongue, belly, and genitals. When Srila Prabhupada meant straight line is, when you eat, it should straight go into the belly, get digested, and whatever is not digested should come out of the genitals. It should not get filled into your body and stay in the belly for a very long time, then get spoiled, and then you have stomach upsets and all kinds of things. And then you go to a doctor to get treated. No, that's not what is required. So Srila Prabhupada said your tongue, belly, and genitals form a straight line. We have to only try to eat to keep the body fit. And we have to practice this. Everything is possible if we practice. Raghunath Das Goswami showed this by his own example. Raghunath Das Goswami was a son of a very wealthy person. He had all the Aishwaryas in his life. He could ask for anything that he wanted. But he showed by his own example while he was living in Vrindavan, while he was living near Radhakund, he would take less and less and less and less. Every alternate day, he would take a few drops of buttermilk. Well, we can't imitate this, we are not Paramahamsas. Sri Raghunath Das Goswami is a Paramahamsa. He was just demonstrating that it is possible how we can do it. But at the same time, we should take only as much as it is required for us. We can't be imitating his practices or his, way of functioning. Yes, they're giving us this by example, showing us by their example. Mahaprabhu always said, I will be happy if you have knowledge and if you have renunciation. Yeah. There's a very nice story of Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur, as we all know, was approached by a very beautiful prostitute. And this prostitute was sent by none other than, an envious person called Ramchandra Khan. And Haridas Thakur would chant 3 lakh holy names 300,000 times he would chant the holy name of the Lord. That is 64, 64, 64. 64 rounds loudly, 64 rounds softly, and 64 rounds in his mind. So he would chant 192 rounds every day before he took prasadam. Yeah. And when this lady approaches Haridas Thakur, the beautiful prostitute who approaches Haridas Thakur, he said, "Oh Devi, please sit down. I will satisfy you, but let me complete my daily quota." Yeah. He was so renounced seeing such a beautiful lady in front of him. His mind did not waver at all. And he made her sit there and he continued to chant, chant, chant. He said, "Yes, I have a few more rounds. Please wait. I still have a few more rounds. Please wait. I still have a few more rounds to wait." And this sound vibration, just by hearing what Haridas Thakur was chanting, she was purified. And when she was purified, he instructed her, stood up and left. He did not get attached saying that this is my disciple, let me stay here. No, that's the renunciation that Mahaprabhu is very happy in seeing devotees practice. So this prostitute actually, after getting initiated by Haridas Thakur, she shaved her head in complete Vaishnava attire. She had only one pair of clothes to wear. She distributed whatever she had. She worshipped Tulsi Maharani. She was eating very frugally, and whatever was given to her, she would eat. Sometimes she even fasted because she didn't get anything. As soon as her senses were controlled, she perfected her life. Till the time that, she did not perfect or she did not control her senses, she thought that she wanted to enjoy Haridas Thakur. But the moment her senses were controlled, she perfected her life. So we should always chant or hear 24/7 and bring our eating, sleeping, mating, and defending to as good as nil. We should bring it down as far as possible. The next one is Muni. This sloka talks about a Muni. Devotee should be very thoughtful. What do you mean by thoughtful? As we go down here, you can see. Yeah. So a devotee should only be very thoughtful of Krishna. He should always be thinking of Krishna. He should always be talking about Krishna. That is what a Muni is. He is always thinking of the Supreme Personality of God and nothing beyond it. The next item in this conversation is talking about living in secluded place. Temple, we have a lot of devotees who stay in the communities, who have their communities of devotees and they stay. That's actually a dham. And Srila Prabhupada went one step beyond, saying that wherever there are devotees living, that itself is dham. And he also advised saying that select a place where everybody is worshipping or thinking of service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yeah. So a devotee should actually stay in a secluded place. When we mean secluded place, he should stay in a dham. And Srila Prabhupada went beyond, over and out, saying that wherever there are devotees who are living, then that becomes a dham. Next is a devotee is always peaceful. And it is very, very important for us to be peaceful. And Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives this prayer in Manasa Deho Gelo. He says, Manasa Deho Gelo, Jo Kichu More. Apilo Tuva Parade Nanda Kishore. That is mind, body, and family. Whatever is mine, I have surrendered unto your lotus feet. O youthful son of Nanda. Yeah. So we say, my dear mind, please let me surrender to Krishna and practice bhakti. This is what we have to do. And when we are fully surrendered, we have to just tell Krishna saying that, do whatever you want to be, whatever you would like with me. I am fully surrendered. I feel great relief in surrendering to you. And I am fully surrendered to my spiritual master. Well, you can't surrender directly to Krishna. That's a myth if somebody thinks that, I can bypass everything and directly reach Krishna. No. Even in the material world, if you have to meet the Prime Minister, you have to go through his PAs, you have to go through his assistants, you have to go through his executive assistant and all of that. You have to approach them and say that this is what is my conversation going to be with the Prime Minister. Likewise, when one has to surrender, he has to surrender through a spiritual master, because the spiritual master knows his intent. The spiritual master knows the intent of the devotee, and he also knows the desire of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is the only one who can actually become a bridge between the two. Yeah, you're on one side and Krishna is on the other side. So the spiritual master, a bona fide spiritual master, becomes a bridge for you to cross over this material nescience. We also chant this prayers of Cheto Darpana Marjanam. Please clean my heart. We don't have to worry, actually. We really don't have to worry. Srila Prabhupada has given us this very nice way of looking at it. If we chant our 16 rounds regularly, if we read Srimad Bhagavatam regularly, water the Tulsi plant, follow the regulative principles, eat prasadam, do deity service, we are all heading closer to Krishna. The process is fortified and we don't have to worry at all. We become more and more and more self-realized as we progress. And it happens automatically. You need not really think that how is it going to, you don't have to have a logical arrangement for all this. It happens in this one lifetime itself. This is guaranteed by our own acharyas, that it can happen in one lifetime, that one can become a self-realized person. Srila Prabhupada, in one of the lectures, was giving this very example, saying that, there's ones in this King Edward College in Lucknow. This is a medical college. And there were students, they had some doubts about the snake charmer. When the snake charmer comes, if he chants certain mantra, the snakes don't bite. They go away. They don't bite them. But then they said, no, how is it possible? How can snake also understand the mantra? You have to actually practice it. The snake charmer actually practices this. And the medical students had some doubt about this. So what did this? They went ahead and told the snake charmer, saying that, no, there's nothing like this, saying that there's some mantra and, you can actually take care of the snakes and all of that. No. So what the snake charmer did, he left open all the snakes in the classroom. And then he showed them practically, saying that when he chanted the mantra, he could actually get them all together. Even if it is a material mantra, it acts. So what about the spiritual mantra? I'm sure it definitely works. It says, Golokera Krishna Premadana Harinam Sankirtan. It has come all the way from Goloka. It is not something that is manufactured here. It is a spiritual voice. It is Golokera Premadana Harinam Sankirtan. It comes from Golok. What to speak about the material mantras. And I'm sure, the Acharyas confirm that whatever has come from Goloka Premadana, this Harinam Sankirtana will definitely work. Mahaprabhu, at one incident, he says, I have no attraction for chanting, but Krishna will take care of me. So if we chant the 10 offenses of the holy name against the holy name of the Lord, in the morning we chant this. These 10 offenses have to be avoided. It takes some practice. It takes millions of lifetime to come to this level. In different species, we have had, the soul is transmigrated into different species. But if we negligently chant, it will take much longer time. But if we chant very carefully, success is guaranteed. And Srila Prabhupada said that my spiritual master, that means Srila Prabhupada's spiritual master, His Holiness Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada, said that finish your business in this lifetime. Don't take a risk. Maya can trick you. And you don't even know that you will take another lifetime. These are statements of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj. And Srila Prabhupada always makes this, saying that finish your business in this lifetime itself. And how can we finish our business in this lifetime itself? By chanting it, carefully, doing the deity worship, tulsi, watering, practicing very nicely, all this. And many times, a lot of people in the Western world have this tendency to challenge Srila Prabhupada. I said, Srila Prabhupada, how can you guarantee that you'll go back in this lifetime itself? So Srila Prabhupada said, because Krishna is ready to honor. Krishna is always ready to please his devotees. And Srila Prabhupada said, just follow me and you'll go back home in this very one lifetime. Yeah. So the next one is friendliness, the qualities of a devotee. Devotee should be friendly to everybody. but his intimate fondness or his intimate relationship or intimate friendliness should be only with Krishna and nobody else. And this is another cause of our bonding in the material world, because we start giving our heart to people whom we should not be giving. And that will bind you in this material world, mixing with non-devotees. Yeah, we have business. We have to, because some of us are, in the profession, some of us are in business, some of us are working outside or even preaching outside. You have to mix with the materialist people. You should not take association from them. You should give them association. That is what Srila Prabhupada says. Mixing with non-devotees, we should avoid them. When I say avoid them, we shouldn't, put a fence around us saying that, no, you're not a non-devotee, I'm not going to talk to you. No, we have to go out for the purpose of preaching. We have to go give them this Krishna prema. At the same time, you should not take association. You should give association. And the ninth one, which Prabhupada gives very nicely in this class, is being compassionate to all the fellow human beings all over. Yeah. And what is compassionate? We know that, they're all fallen souls. They don't know what they're doing. So we should have that compassion on the heart, saying that I want them to also progress. I also want them to go back home, back to Godhead. And that's why His Holiness Shri Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj makes it a point saying that preach. And he doesn't say chant and be happy. Yes, chant and be happy is very, very important. But Guru Maharaj always says chant, preach, and be happy. So when we preach, that is the compassionate nature of a devotee which comes out. We are caring for the person opposite to us. Because he's not taken up to Krishna consciousness, he is loitering in this material world. We are the only ones who can help him go out of this material world. So a devotee has to be very compassionate. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th canto, 18th chapter, 12th verse, Yasyaiti bhaktir bhagvati akinchana sarvai gunesya tata sammata sura areva abhakshya kuto mahatguna manorite shati dranvato bani. The translation goes like this, that all the demigods and their exalted qualities such as religion, knowledge and renunciation become manifest in the body of one who develops unalloyed devotional service for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudeva. On the other hand, a person devoid of devotional service and engaged in the material activities has no good qualities, even if he is adept at the practice of mystic yoga or the honest endeavor of maintaining his family and relatives. He must be driven by his own mental speculation and must engage in the service of the Lord's external energy. How can there be any good qualities in such a person? If we go further in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, chapter 22, 107th verse, says, Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema, Sadhya Kabunai, Shravanadi Suddha Chitta Karaya Udaya. Pure love of Krishna is eternally established in the hearts of the living entities. It is not something to be gained from another source. When the heart is purified by hearing the chanting, this love naturally awakens. So one needs to, that Shuddha Chitta. Shuddha Chitta is the pure heart. It awakens. It's purified by hearing and chanting. Yeah, the heart is always pure. Once upon a time, this is in the Western world, somebody asked Srila Prabhupada, how is that your devotees are so bright-faced? Srila Prabhupada gave a very simple answer to it. He says, because they chant the holy name of the Lord. And that's why their faces become very bright. So you see, devotees' faces are very bright, not morose always, not morose like the materialistic people. And we are all aspiring to revive our relationship with bhakti. With this bhakti, we are trying to revive our relationship with Krishna. Yeah. We also see Srila Prabhupada, many times people were speaking about it, when Srila Prabhupada will come back or reach a place or reach a destination, there would be an aura around him. That's because he is a devotee, because he is chanting the holy name. And it's likewise with the other devotees as well. So very nice description in this shloka today. Maybe I would just like to summarize it quickly. So we started the shloka. This is a very instructive verse. So one is, a devotee should not over endeavor. Yeah. Second one is you should not eat more than what is supposed to be eaten. So, we should eat very small quantity. We should not overeat. The third one is devotees should be thoughtful, muni. The fourth one is devotees should live in secluded places, or devotees should live with devotees and not, associate with materialistic people. Devotees are always peaceful. And then devotees are always friendly. They're very friendly and they're very, very compassionate. So these are the qualities of a devotee that we discussed today. And very nice shloka. If you can take some time out to again read this. Anyway, I'll read the translation once again for the benefit of all the devotees. Translation is, for his income, a devotee should be satisfied with what he earns without great difficulty. He should not eat more than what is necessary. He should live in a secluded place, always be thoughtful, peaceful, friendly, compassionate, and self-realized. So we will end the conversation on our shloka today. Very good understanding, which gives us today saying that a devotee should live in secluded places, be thoughtful, never over endeavor. He should be peaceful, friendly, compassionate, and self-realized. So this is what is a very clear instruction for us from today's shloka. If there are any questions, I'll be happy to take them. And if there are any comments, please go ahead and make. Thank you very much for your patient hearing.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandava Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Very enlightening class, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, like secluded place means what exactly the secluded place?
Prabhu, here the shloka, it says secluded place is a place which is away from the materialistic people. Yeah, but for people like us who are living in bigger cities or have business like you are doing or professions like the other devotees have, when we say secluded place, it is secluded from the materialistic people who are always thinking about money, women, and other materialistic thing. So seclude us, keep ourselves distance from those devotees. At the same time, Srila Prabhupada also went one step forward to say you should reside in a dham. And then we will also have this question saying that how can I leave my business and go to the dham? It's not practical. So Srila Prabhupada goes one step beyond saying that, whenever you have association of devotees around you, when you have devotees staying around, you have deities at home which you're worshipping and you are chanting and you are, conducting classes or, you're reading Srimad Bhagavatam, that place becomes a dham. So secluded means seclude from materialistic people. Do not take unnecessary association of the materialistic people. That is what it means, Prabhu.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu. Yeah.
Hope that clarifies. It's a very wonderful question because when we talk about secluded, then, we always say, okay, seclude means jungle mein jaake baitho. No, that's not what Srila Prabhupada means. So if there are no other questions, I think we're coming right at the end of our allocated time. So we will stop the class here. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nathai Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bol.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Hare